So let's find the quotient q of x and the remainder r using long division. And then we need to write the answer in the form q of x, which is the quotient, plus the remainder over 4 minus x, which is the divisor. So let's go ahead and put this in the long division form. 4x minus 5 goes outside. Then underneath the bracket we'll have 20x to the third minus 41x squared plus 48x minus 37. Alright, so we have 4 steps that we're going to do. We're going to divide the leading terms. We're going to multiply the quotient that we find from dividing by the divisor. Then we're going to subtract. Then we're going to bring down the rest of the polynomial. So let's start it off with the first iteration. We're dividing the leading terms. Those are the leading terms. So dividing the 20x to the third by the 4x gives us 5x squared. And we put the quotient that we find, that's the first term in the quotient of the polynomials, 5x squared. So that's the first term in the quotient. Then we're going to multiply that first term, 5x squared, by the divisor, 4x minus 5. And that's what we're going to put down here. 5x squared times 4x is 20x cubed. And 5x squared times negative 5 is negative 25x squared. So that is the multiply step. Then we subtract. We're subtracting 20x cubed minus 25x squared, and we're subtracting it from the original numerator. So I'm subtracting 20x cubed minus 25x squared from 20x cubed minus 41x squared plus 48x minus 37. So since they're already lined up, I'll just put parentheses and do this subtraction. But we have to remember that to do this subtraction, I'm actually subtracting 20x cubed, and I'm also subtracting negative 25x squared, which actually turns out to be minus a negative should be plus 25x squared. And I'm actually subtracting this one. And if I change those signs, I can then just add these, combine like terms. So I'm subtracting the 20x cubed from the 20x cubed, and they cancel. And I'm subtracting negative 25x squared, which is actually adding 25x squared, to the negative 41x squared, which gives me negative 16x squared. So that's the subtract step. And then the bring down step means to just take the rest of that polynomial and bring it down. Plus 48x minus 37. And that's the first iteration of this process. So check the bring down step. Check. All right, now we're just going to start over with this new trinomial that we have. We're going to divide the leading terms. We're going to multiply by the dividend. We're going to subtract it from that trinomial, and then we're going to bring down whatever's left. So first we divide the leading terms, negative 16x squared and 4x. So negative 16x squared divided by 4x is actually negative 4x. That's the next term in the quotient, negative 4x. I put it up there above its like term. Then I multiply that next term in the quotient, negative 4x, by the divisor, 4x minus 5, which leads me to negative 16x squared, and that's going to be plus 20x. Then I need to subtract. I'm subtracting the negative 16x squared plus 48x minus 37. Now, I'm subtracting from that negative 16x squared plus 20, so I need to do this subtraction, which means I need to subtract negative 16x squared, which means actually to add it. And I also need to subtract 20x, so I need to change this sign to a minus. And then the negative 16x squared and the positive 16x squared cancel. And I get here 48x minus 20x is 28x. And that's my subtract step. And then the bring down step, I bring down the negative 37. So bring down. And then I'm ready for the process all over again. So I'm going to divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down one last time. So to divide, I'm dividing the leading terms, 28x and 4x. So that's 28x divided by 4x is just equal to 7. So the last term is plus 7. That's the last term in the quotient. So I found my quotient q of x. And then I'm going to multiply that 7 by 4x minus 5, the result being 28x minus 35. Then I'm going to subtract that from the 28x minus 37. So I'm subtracting, which means I need to actually subtract the 28 and add the 35. These will cancel as they should, and the remainder is negative 2. That is the remainder. So the original problem said to write the answer in the form q of x plus r over 4x minus 5. So here's how we write the final answer then. Q of x is 5x squared minus 4x plus 7. And then plus r would be plus negative 2 over 4x minus 5. Or you can change that plus negative 2 and write it as 5x squared minus 4x plus 7 minus 2 over 4x minus 5. Either way, that's the final result.